Here is our news bulletin for this evening. Niue Arts and Cultural Festival hype keeps the island busy for the week as people immerse themselves in cultural activities. Visual arts students from Niue High School take the opportunity to raise funds during festival for much-needed class resources. The Niue Arts and Cultural Festival draws to a close, and we talk to people about their thoughts about the festival and its purpose. The Niue Arts and Cultural Festival is all about celebrating cultural heritage, and storytelling is one way people have been able to document their history, and local writers were able to express their thoughts at the Niue Marketplace on Monday afternoon. A number of writers from the local writers group on the island prepared short pieces to recite, somewhat linked to the theme in question, Who am I? Renew, Rethink, Reclaim. Individuals took courage to dig deep and draw from personal experiences and share their story and promote the use of Wangahau Niue. On Monday evening, the Wearable Arts and Fashion Show was held at the Commercial Centre to showcase the different styles. The majority of local designers using the Pareo materials, natural resources and recycled materials to make garments. This year's fashion show began with the Pareo section. A majority of the designers portrayed an array of different designs sewn and tied using Pareo, as well as accompanied by a beautiful selection of accessories from Lava's creations, modelled by a handful of selected models designers had approached. The Tupumayanga Niue Trust Group also participated in the event, portraying their designing skills from New Zealand. This year's local natural resources section showed a range of different outfits using parts of the coconut tree, banana leaves and pandanus leaves, as well as a few seashells as accessories. Even though not many designers participated in this section, it was still breathtaking to see the amount of work and detail that went into the different creative styles put into the outfits. The wearable art section using recycled materials was inventive, creative and modern in their designs, using used school books, granola bottles, foil and a variety of plastic bags. It appears that designers continue to amaze the crowds with their creativity in putting outfits together, and the night ended with a performance from the organisers and the current reigning Miss Niue, Nina Nemaya. Vaiolama's front yard was covered in a rainbow of colours with an iepili exhibition open to the public on Tuesday afternoon. The display, hosted by Lofa Rex and daughter Pauline Blumsky, is a new addition to the festival program that has given women folk on the island a chance to display their work. The iepili can be considered as an art form, fabric patchwork using a plain material complemented by a floral Pareo material in the centre, and is considered a taonga. More than 40 iepilis were on display, all contributed by individuals, and some of these items have been said to be family heirlooms with sentimental value and interesting stories of their origins. Pauline said that the concept coincided with the theme of the festival, as the iepili is a taonga of Niue, and this exhibition is a way of reclaiming that. Through this display, it has given her a renewed sense of appreciation and rethinking ways to sustain this part of our cultural heritage. A handful of eager spectators were able to take a sneak peek before the Rainbow of Happiness exhibition was open to the public for a few hours. Organisers are hoping to make this a permanent fixture in the festival program in the future. Melodies floated through the township of Alofi on Tuesday evening with the open mic night featuring a variety of local and visiting Niuean musicians, from old school family bands like Black Diamond to solo acts with a modern day influence. It was an event to cater for all types of musical preferences. The evening started off with Esther Pavihi and Ioane Alekefavai as the MCs, who kept the crowd entertained with their light humour while acts prepared to take to the stage. Opening act by our very own Mrs. Wainga Tukitonga gave the audience a taste of what was yet to come. The list of musicians consisted of groups and individuals, young and old, all taking pride in sharing their love for music with others. There was Ofa Ahosivi, Jinam Hopotoa, Island Pride, J Love, the upcoming Island Pride children, Thomas Ikitungia, the Tomes, Luale Bomo and Co, Slack Outfit, and others. The OBL duo DJ Ye and Isak performed their tribute song to Niue with some strong hip-hop influences, receiving a great round of applause. For musicians like Glenn Jackson, Hans Farvai Jackson and Malcolm Makatani, the festival is a chance to return home to perform in front of their very own, to give back to the community that has helped inspire and nurture their talents. To round off, Malcolm Lakatani serenaded the crowd with some of his popular Niuean songs like Furuole Fini Niue, Niue Nupututaha and a few others. It was a moving showcase that has some thinking. Perhaps the next step further down the line would be a proposed Niue Music Awards event in recognition of the contributions and the potential music has in sustaining our culture and our language. Visual arts exhibitions have also expanded this year, with 3 spaces in Alofi South allocated for the display of artwork by some well-established artists and up-and-coming talent. Makini Hall was the venue for the out-of-the-box exhibition that ranged from stone carvings to hiapo designs, fabrics, canvas paintings and more. Aliutu Hall had an assortment of artwork from children based on portraits of people they admire, and it was also the venue for the showcase of a final product from the Takainiwe project by Maka Makata and Alexa Shaw. The growing arts exhibits at the Aliutu Hall, showcasing the artistic talents of budding young artists, was also very popular. We spoke to the coordinator of that particular program.
Any children here and overseas, any age that could actually hold a pencil, someone that inspires them, and just a little ditty and a little bio in themselves. And of course, it's grown, so the high school got on board and they've ended up doing portraits, which are sketching portraits of people that are local and also, superstars that they like. Some of the younger work is based more on their families, so kept it like mum and dad or the superheroes and it's just encouraging, for them, for the young. And we also basically wanted something for the children, so I guess first and foremost it was something for the children at one of these festivals. Friday night opening was pretty intense. It was pretty manic for a while, and some of the kids got stuck at tables, so we had random tables. We've got chalkboard and tables where they could sketch and stuff, thinking that's a family thing. And so a lot of the parents were waiting at the front door, waiting for their child to go home. But grown-up wise, everybody was absolutely, 100% positive, really, really great. And of course, you can't fit everyone in here, so it was a mixture of ECE, kind of missing the middle chunk. So there was some in there, and then high school. So I think next time it will probably be the whole hall. But the feedback, even in the street, people are like, And the kids love it because they love seeing, stuff that other children have done or themselves,
So where to from here? I know the festival is every 2 years, but how are you going to try and, nurture our up-and-coming artists from here on?
Well, I think hopefully with this one it's inspired other people, and I think it has a lot of people for next time. And I think everyone will come out of their corners and make it a bigger version, something a bit more interactive, I think, and a wider space, I sort of envision. Not really sure was actually going to hang out my, helping out sort of apron, but I think if someone can sort of carry the baton for next time, the young, maybe a competition of some sort for the young. But definitely I think the space would be booked, or some space anywhere will be booked, something for the children, hopefully.
Well-known Niuean artist John Pule's Out of the Suitcase exhibition at the Niue Yacht Club has also generated much interest. This is his second festival and a slightly different exhibition in terms of scale and size. We spoke with him about the concept and what the future holds.
This exhibition is made up of about 20 livid prints and etchings, and they're works on paper, and I brought them over in a container.
So what's the concept? Is there a particular theme to it, or a concept that you can explain to us?
Well, there's really no theme running through them, because these prints, they have been printed and made, more than like 10 years ago. But the whole idea of putting it into a suitcase, that is kind of like the theme behind the whole exhibition. And a suitcase kind of is a metaphor for, leaving one country and going to live in another.
So what has the response been like from people who have managed to pop in and have a look around?
Oh, the response has been great. People, people have a limited visual, philosophy on what they like in painting. Like some people come in here for 10 seconds, some come for 30, and some come, for about 10 minutes. And so it's quite interesting, to watch them and how they behave and how they interact with the works. Like some of these works are quite challenging. And for example, the works on the right here, where it's kind of text-based, people have to, make an effort to read. And a lot of people, when they walk into a gallery, don't kind of have that experience, to kind of to sit there and read and try and get the logistics of what the poetry means. But if you look at a picture like this, where it's just one plant, they can look at it and say, yes, that is a plant, and I understand the colours. So it's been quite extraordinary. Yeah.
What would your advice be to up-and-coming artists in terms of trying to nurture that talent?
Well, I can only, talk about how I came through, the arts, and I've always been interested in my own personal history, my family history, as well as Liku history, and as well as Niue in the Pacific, and our relationship to, the first visitors, for example, when Captain Cook, kind of came here, and then he sort of put us on the map. He did put us on the map, but we already had a history before, he turned up, but unfortunately we weren't very good at documenting it. But the closest that we did get to documenting our early history, so to say, was in the 19th century, when they started making these beautiful, remarkable bark cloth hiapo. And in these hiapos, they started documenting, the relationships between the Palangis who were here at the time. And they started incorporating things like ships, and all sorts of weird and wonderful things, and started writing proverbs. And then they, Niueans were our first, probably Polynesians' very first painters, because they painted freehand.
Now that you've been to, I think it's 2 festivals, has that helped you identify with who you are?
Yes, it has. It's a great question. Since I arrived, since when I've been living in New Zealand, I've always tried to question, and answer that question you just posed. Who am I? Who are you? And who are we? And I have tried through my books and my exhibitions and my drawings, to try and figure out, who am I? And a lot of my works eventually returns, to Niue in different forms. So the foundation of my practice is very Niuean. And even though I've lived in New Zealand for over 50 years, and writing about Niuean things and talking about, Niuean things, it wasn't until I kind of start to move back here, then I am on a different journey to try and discover, who am I really? Because I like to think that, growing up in Niku for the first 2 years of my life, I would have at one stage, like you all do as babies, eat the kelekele, you start picking things up off the ground and eat it. And maybe that soil, somehow, took root on my tongue and sprouted a different kind of way for me in the future, to use language and to install in me, the memories of what I could remember, and also the memories of what my old people were telling me when I was growing up in Otara in South Auckland.
John Pauli's exhibition will be open until Saturday. The street art murals are also still in progress, with painting going on with a few slight delays due to weather. It is apparent that there is a strong presence of visual arts this time round, with a greater emphasis on local talents and contributions. Women from all over the island were competing to see who could prepare the best takihi for the competition yesterday. The takihi is a traditional Niuean food that uses a variety of thinly sliced local staple crops that are layered, drizzled with coconut cream, and baked in the earth oven. Organisers say that there were more than 40 people who contributed to this particular competition, with multiple entries into the 3 different categories. The first category was for takihi made with taro, the second for takihi made from yams, and the last category was for open entries made from different kinds of food. Some women worked from old family recipes while others experimented a bit, and the judges had their work cut out for them with all sorts of takihi dishes that were dished out into containers for tasting, and it was difficult to find a winner because all were very well prepared, creative and tasty. The winners in the competition for takihi made from taro, first placing went to Moka Lipitoa, second to Anamata Lahavini, and third Kairia Tungia. The takihi made from yam, first placing went to Diane Bumali, second Amelia Siakimotu, and third Kairia Tungia. The variety takihi, first placing went to Lalomanungi Tungiakona, with her takihi made from sweet potato. Whamakau Tawhea came second with her takihi made from cassava, and third placing went to Kairia Tungia, who had a combination of different ingredients in her takihi. And the most interesting and inventive takihi prize went to Finivale Ikihele. Groups took to the stage last night to perform some traditional songs, chants and dances representing the old schools before they were centralized in Alofi. The MCs of the show, Ioane Alekefavai and Robin Heko, kept the crowd entertained with songs and games and gimmicks throughout the night that they played during their days back in school. The first group to take to the stage was the Tawakina group, representing Leolou School, and this group was from the village of Tampotonga Tumulu, with a performance of a takalo and a meke. The next was Halamahanga and Tufukia schools, made up of people from the village of Alofi, marching their way onto the stage, as well as portraying some local tame items and songs. Halavai School from Liku Tamahaleleka were very well prepared in their colours and costumes, filling up the stage from youngsters all the way up to the elders of the village. They had a range of chants, a short meke relating to the coconut. Tupumayanga Trust Group from New Zealand left their mark on the stage singing Sipa Yo and dancing to a contemporary number, Kokuniu. Unfortunately, Lialangi and Tuasea were missing from the mix, but the last 2 groups made the effort to put a few old school songs together. Kofe Kofe Group, a combination of the villages of Toi and Mutalo, had a short series of songs with only 4 performers mustering up the courage to get up on stage. The final item was from the school Matalave, from the village of Tuapa, with representatives all the way from Tuapa, Namkulu, Hitavaki and even Toi. The performances were also a tribute to those teachers from the past who composed many of the songs that have now become national favourites, like Kafisia Niue and many more songs and dances our youngsters continue to perform, and through these songs and dances their legacy lives on. Visual arts students from Niue High School have used the festival as an opportunity to raise funds for art equipment. The senior students with their teacher have taken a creative approach, thinking outside of the box to find ways to get some of the specialized materials they require to improve their art. This particular live portrait challenge opened up the opportunity to improve their drawing skills, with payment received, plain portraits done for $20 and frame portraits for $40. Some would say money well spent for one-off pieces of art. The first trial session at Oliutu Hall last week Saturday saw about 6 students set aside their day to draw portraits. We spoke with one of the students to find out what it was that made him interested in art and his outlook for the future.
The main reason is just for us to just improve on our skills and just see what it's like in the real world when we have to, if we're looking to go in this direction for making art as your career.
So I see that a few of you have some pieces on exhibit. How do you feel seeing your work up there, outside of the classroom and for public viewing?
It's good because a lot of people are impressed and amazed, and when they hear that it's my first year doing art, it's just, I guess it's really cool.
So, what kind of support have you received? Who are the people that have helped push you and support you in your interest and passion for art?
Um, Mostly my friends at school, my parents, but also would be Juma and Artu, just my main friends, yeah.
So, tell us a bit about this is your first day doing the live portraits. What's the response been like from people coming to support you?
They're impressed and they are shocked by the amount of work done in a little amount of time. But even though it take longer than we have thought.
People walked away satisfied with lifelike portraits of themselves and family members. The success of this project serves as some encouragement for students to continue fostering their talents and artistic ambitions. The Niue Arts and Cultural Festival came to a close today with the last few activities in the morning, including a coastal tour by boat for a handful of people. Also on the agenda was the Round the Island Tokai up until midday. Throughout the week, we spoke to a few people to get their views about the festival and their take on the theme, Who Am I? Rethink, Renew, Reclaim, especially in relation to their Niuean identity.
It's who I am today. It's who I represent every day I get up from sleep. From going to study, I always represent Niue hard, always savage island.
All day, what it means to be Niuean for me, everything. Everything I do, all that I do is for Niue, my country Niue, patriots of the death. Grew up around here in Hui Hui, of course, my bus stop just over there.
To belong to a great civilization that was founded by kings, warriors and dawes, and I'm really happy to be here back home in Niue.
The festival will round off with the drama written and directed by Vela Mansote titled My Name is Bilitome. Farewell of participants will be held tomorrow at the airport. And that concludes our news bulletin for this evening. We do hope that you've enjoyed the news and have an enjoyable weekend ahead. All the best to those teams who will be competing in the ongoing men's cricket competition on Saturday.